The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
Welcome to The Downside. My name is Gianmarco Soresi. I'm here with my co-host, Russell Daniels.
Hi, Gianmarco.
Fresh back from our live show in Toronto.
Yes.
Had a very good time.
Very good time.
And we're joined by a phenomenal comedian, actor, writer, so many things, Ilana Glazer. Ilana, we'll get to you in a second. I don't know. Honestly, I'm so dead from the road. I don't have anything interesting. Everything I want to talk about, it's just like, well, this fee. Why is this cost this? Why is this? My life is hollow.
How many more shows did you have after I left?
I did 2 in Hamilton, Canada. Didn't know it existed.
Me neither.
Yeah.
2 in London, Canada. Didn't know that was there.
That's a real switcheroo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone from London who wrote from the UK.
Yeah.
Like somehow this meant that I would now have to go there soon.
Yeah.
June. And then I went to Montreal, which I love Montreal. Have you
Yeah.
been to Montreal?
Yeah, I enjoy it very much.
Do you know French?
Un petit.
Un petit? Yeah.
Un
There you
petit
go. Wow,
peu.
you too.
Yeah. I know
Fluent.
that. Yeah.
Do you?
Oh, je suis fatigué. No, I
Did you
took
say
it.
something real?
Yeah, that means I'm tired.
Oh, okay.
That's like all that's what you'd say in school.
Yeah. Bonsoir.
In school, you go, "Oh, you're fat and gay."
Yeah.
It was very popular, very
You
killer
studied
joke.
French?
Yes, studied as a.
LOL, me too.
How far? How long?
6th grade to 12th grade, barely.
You started in 6, really?
7th. 7th.
Okay.
But I was just looking at pictures from when I was in middle school, and we had this professor, Madam Gallagher, and it was such like a caricature of a like bad American French teacher, and we like really tortured her. I was like a nerd, and my friends were nerds, but we were bad kids when it came to French class. It was like really rude.
7th grade, because I started language like in 2nd grade, but it was useless because I don't remember any of it.
My schooling was like piss poor.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Where'd you grow up?
Upstate New York,
Oh, cool. Where?
near Binghamton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I
you're
grew up
Long
on
Island.
Seven County North Shore. I graduated high school with 3,000 kids.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Cattle.
3,000 kids. No, I was small town.
Do
Yeah.
your kid, I assume that he's going to go to a smaller school? Or do you think
Yeah.
like was there anything useful about having to figure out how do I survive?
I believe so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, when you have a kid, is like you think that there's these instincts to like give them what you got, give them what you had, and they'll learn the tough
Yeah.
stuff you learned. And it's just not true. Like you're having them so that they get and do better than you. But I've thought that too. I don't know what we're gonna do, private or public. I had assumed public for a long time because I was like, you learn the ropes.
Yeah.
But even in New York, isn't it like you're applying for a public school? Like
Yeah.
it's like a crazy thing every year here. You're like, I mean, in New York City.
Yeah,
you know,
and like
yeah.
the like, you know, everybody like loves a frenzy in New York, so it's like also amped up
Yes.
on its own hype of how hard it is and
Yeah,
how much it sucks.
that's so true.
But
Yeah.
it's so cool. My friend Lindsay, she lives. Her address is 247. No, but she lives like in Midtown area, and we went to pick up her kid once, and they walked home, and it was like a TV show where this little kid, there was a male woman, and the kid's like, "Hi,"
I know,
and then came
yeah.
over to this doorman, and like
Yeah.
it was so cute.
It's so fucking cute.
Yeah.
It really is. It really is.
But I feel like I went to private school
Ooh.
from the beginning.
Where'd you grow up?
Maryland.
Okay.
So I went to Norwood School in Maryland, and it's small. So maybe 50 kids, and then in high school is 100 per grade.
Wow. Damn.
And some pros, but I ultimately think like I look at like my sisters went to public school because my mom cared about them less, and they I don't know. You've experienced life. I don't know which way I'd go with my kid.
I don't know. I don't know. I think it's very valuable to understand the world you're living in. But the thing is now, like, the schools are being like totally defunded.
Yeah.
Like that is for real.
Even in New York too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
They're like, he's like defunding the libraries and public schools. And the other thing is it's like iPad school now. Like Tech Bros, I don't know. Tell me if you guys know this. Tech Bros like kind of like how San Francisco for a long time was like, we're changing the world.
Uh-huh.
We're changing the
Yeah.
world. And it was like, wait, you're just like actually enslaving lots of people in a gig economy and not giving them health benefits.
Mhm.
And they did that with school too, where they're like, we'll solve this for you.
Yeah.
We have the solutions, and it comes with our software, and our iPads will generously donate to you. So like all these schools are now like they're learning on iPads, which
In a way, though, maybe all the ChatGPT stuff will, not to be too optimistic, will make it impossible because basically they're like, well, the kids are cheating. If they're able to just use their screens, they're able to cheat. So I feel like there's a lot of schools that are like, we literally have to get rid of, in a way, it's going to go, they have to get rid of the phones. They have to get rid of the laptop because otherwise they're just going to cheat through everything and not learn
I
anything.
hope they do. I hope
Yeah.
they fucking do.
But what if you were a kid now and they said to you, no phones? I mean, there's no way.
I honestly, seriously think that I would feel that the pushback from the adults was something I should trust. I was always like a good kid and a total nerd.
Yeah.
But I would feel like, oh, this is difficult for a reason.
That feels like, no offense, a very like a police officer answer. Like, I think
Oof.
they'd understand that the
Ooh.
authority is there for a reason. We're pretty much, we're the same age. Tamagotchis.
Excuse me, how old do you think I am? Just kidding, I'm 37.
How old do you think I am? I'm 36.
Okay.
So I was being kind to you, but
bitch. You little young bitch waving your little fresh tail in my face. 36. I get it. You were
It's
born
a
in
graying tail.
1988.
Basically a teenager.
Tova said before the special, she said, "Do you think?" She said, "Should we
The
dye your
gray.
beard?" And I was like, first of all, not right, but no big decisions.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
week of the special.
Yeah.
Too late for that conversation.
Yeah.
My first
But also men get such like currency for graying. You know what I mean?
people comment on videos. They go, "Ew, gray hair."
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
Wait,
do.
no, I thought they love it.
They also
We
comment
can
on your
judge on our looks
eyebrows.
sometimes. I understand it's not the same.
I like it, is what I mean.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the comedy
Does Tova-
demographic is
does
18 to
Tova-
22.
Personally like it?
I think so. Listen, she grew up in such a heavily Jewish community. I could grow these, and part of her would be like, "That's so hot,"
Yeah.
but I can't trust that.
Right.
Yeah.
I think one day I want to surprise her, and I'm in a whole Hasidic full on. She grew up Chabad,
Really hot.
but it's close. It's
Yeah.
big
Really
beard,
hot.
big gray.
How are
Really
you gonna, you're gonna
wrong.
grow them out without telling her and then just like release?
Yeah, hide them. They have that. We interviewed that guy who he cut
Oh,
it off
yeah.
in protest, and they have fake ones with a headband.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I like have payas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like right there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can you when you see someone with it? Can you see it? You're like, ooh, that's. Have you ever seen a sexy payas?
Not a sexy payas, but I've seen like Hasidic people. Like in the past few years, I've been like, you're not a completely desexualized person the way I used to think you are. I would possibly
Mhm.
fuck this person.
Really? Hat on?
Hat on.
Hat on.
Is that how it's done?
I don't think so.
Would you fuck a Hasidic person?
I think it would be a
Jew to
lot.
Jew.
It would be a lot. First, let's get lunch with them.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I honestly, I wouldn't really. But
But isn't it about desexualization? Isn't that what the
Exactly
whole
correct.
thing is like?
Exactly.
Oh,
Well,
seeing
that was
things makes me want to rebel.
right, and also they're like, let me get into like to protect ourselves as a people, like the most sort of desexualized armor that we possibly can. It will protect us in the way that like, young women, you like get big titties when you're young and you're like, I'll just wear a sweatshirt, like sports bra and a sweatshirt and pretend it's like not even here. It's almost like not pretending that our like voracious Jewish sexualities are like burning under that garb.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It is about desexualization. So that was why it like struck me recently where I was like, oh, this is kind of a good looking person.
Yeah, I think I see the boys that going through the age where like boys were just having it the roughest, where everything's changing. We're just looking at our worst, and I think on top of that, I mean, listen, I was goth. It's like I did lots of stuff too. At least I
You were
decided
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like fake goth.
Yeah,
Thank God
obviously.
he wasn't into the music or anything or skateboarding really. Just like the
Skateboarding is not goth number one.
No, I know, but you went through a phase
I
where
went
it
through
was
a
like you would
skateboard
carry
phase.
a skateboard.
That was the fakest
Okay.
phase.
Yeah.
Because again,
Well-
same age, similar.
Yeah, pretty much.
Avril Lavigne was huge.
Sure.
Oh my God.
She was your skateboarding inspo?
Well, exactly my point.
Honestly, so feminist,
Oh my
which
God.
is like very on brand
A
for
woman
you.
wearing a t-shirt and a tie on top of that t-shirt.
Oh, the tie, yeah,
mama,
yeah.
That was
Maybe
everything.
a vest too,
A vest.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Real.
was cute.
Yeah.
She was really cute for everybody.
and then I met a goth girl at a camp. She was the first person I really made out with.
Wow.
And then I like nail polish, but they would do salt and ice.
Excuse
which
me?
You put
Is that Hebrew?
It might as well. You put salt and ice, then salt and ice, then salt and ice. And
Who's
you make
they?
A scar.
The Goths?
The Goths.
Oh
So
my!
it was like a little bit of self mutilation.
So you were too afraid to cut.
Yeah, I was never.
You were doing like pre-drinking.
yeah.
You were like, I'm gonna put salt on my arm and then ice, and then I'm gonna put salt on my arm and then ice, and you give yourself a scar.
I think it's that thing where like
What for? Did they spell things out or no? Just scars.
just scar. I don't think you could like do much shaping and contouring with the. I just think I dealt with what I had in common with goth kids is
nice.
depression. We had depression in common. It's how you deal with the depression. And mine's more Jewish. It's just anxiety, and it's not exactly communal. And it's kind of and goth they're like, let's all hurt ourselves together. And I was like, I can't even spend time with you.
Which I honestly believe is like kind of what the Hasidic community is doing, but like
Tell me.
a lot, like not by choice because they're like born into it, but it's like they're sort of cutting themselves off from society, and it seems painful, you know, and also like sort of living this like in a different time.
Of course. Well, I don't know how. When I see them in New York, I go, with what is it, Amish? They do Rumspringa. Is that what it's called?
When they let it all
Closest
out.
to Amish
time.
in this room.
Yeah.
Rumspringa. Is that what you're thinking? I feel like you have relatives closer to you.
Yeah. No, we had Mennonites in my hometown.
What is that again?
It's like Amish light.
And they
Like,
make good furniture?
Really good furniture, and they also have really good food. Like they had like a farm kind of like shop you'd go to that had like
What do you mean
snacks.
Amish light though? They use light bulbs.
They could use cars, I think.
They're like the cool Amish.
Yeah, electricity they could use, little
As technology takes over, I do understand more. I go like, yeah, maybe you need to look at the world and go, oh, you know what? We don't need the best of everything. Oh, actually, internet is bad. It's kind of a, what was the Unabomber's name?
Ted Kaczynski.
Ted Kaczynski. That was his whole thing. He said technology wasn't great.
Really?
Yeah.
And he just took it really far.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was why he bombed the Unabomber, Oklahoma bombing?
No, wait, those are different people.
Who's the Oklahoma's-
Unabomber was the guy sending packages in the mail.
Oh, fuck.
To
Can you look up Ted Kaczynski?
who did Oklahoma City? Someone else.
Just put in T, it'll come up Ted Kaczynski inspiration.
Wait, you started a pro Ted Kaczynski.
He was the Unabomber?
Right. We agree with him.
Well, sure, if I look like that, I wouldn't like Instagram either. It's okay. We can make fun of
We
the
can make fun
Unabomber's
of
looks.
the
Come on, guys.
But you said he had some good points.
No, I didn't say that. I said that's
how this started.
It led to that.
He's just kind of seemed like more reasonable to Gianmarco these days.
Yeah.
I read that you were class president for 2 years. Is that true?
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah, junior and senior year, guys.
Did you have to run again, or just that?
I did have to run again.
Okay, that's good.
Yes.
Term limits.
Have you ever run into Hillary since and said, "Hey, look, I got it done"?
Did I troll Hillary Clinton? No, I didn't run into her
Not yet.
at my Illuminati meetings. Hey, Hillary, things have gotten weird since we met. Aren't things weird? Do you wish you ever did anything differently? I would ask her.
Well, you ran on a anti-drug campaign.
Oh fuck! I was gonna.
Is that real?
Well, I was gonna make a joke that I did, but I wasn't like an anti-drug club. So we had this like vaguely Christian, honestly, like the seeds of the white Christian nationalist movement. We are finding ourselves stuck in the middle of right now, but a vaguely Christian anti-drug club called the Positive Edge.
So
The Positive Edge.
is that related to straight edge?
Yes.
Okay, wow.
Because
Straight, yeah.
what was that?
Straight edge.
That's a straight edge
The,
symbol.
kids, the
So
straight
you-
edge kids would be like,
While you were salting and icing your arm, we were crossing our arms to get the
and there was the symbol
kids away
like
from us.
a S-E and then an X. So it was like sex, but it was
Yes,
like it was
fuck
like
was that?
yeah, but
It was
like,
really weird.
I'm gonna add graphics and it's gonna make the swastika in front of
It
you right
totally
now.
sounds like a swastika completely. It's like that symbol, like 90 degrees and like 4 corners
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it.
no symbols with 90 degrees. I feel like that's a dangerous. Wait, so you were part of this too?
I'm not in it. No, but I knew the kids that were, and it. All I remember about it was what I just said, is that there was a written down thing that was SE with an X in between the two, and then this symbol.
Can you pull up that symbol? Can I see it?
So it was like kind of like an offshoot of emo culture,
yes.
and it was like
Emo
culture. Yes, so it was like kind of like for kids who were scared to do drugs and what it might release in them or whatever. Like it was a very like guarded movement, and it was for some reason it felt like boys were centered, and it was
my God, that looks so Nazi coded.
It does look Nazi coded.
It really is Nazi coded. Can you do one that's like a more of a graphic because it's like on someone's flesh?
Do you have yours on? Where's yours?
My ass. It's on my left butt cheek, very close to my butthole. But but it was like for some reason boys are centered in this narrative and in all these cultural narratives. So it was like to me, straight edge was for boys who didn't want to do drugs but wanted to still be superior and have like an emotional container or something.
God.
Where look at how
that's so Nazi. That's so Nazi.
That's crazy.
It's definitely like when I think of it, the kids that were doing it in my school, it was like there was some sort of Christian element, but it was like kind of like scary. And it was like an intensity to
because I identified as straight edge when I was like in middle school. That was a term we used in middle school, but that was it. I said like I'm straight edge. This is crazy.
Yeah.
So like I did it till like 10th grade, and that is the least I think violent looking one. I did it till like 10th grade, and the thing was that
for those who can't see, it's an eagle holding up a swastika, and that's the best one we found.
Penis out with its penis wagging,
giant penis out.
It feels like it was, that's right, like no drugs, but I'm still whored and I still control women.
Yeah,
was the vibes.
Yeah,
was the vibe, and I still like tell girls what to do and that they don't poop. Did you guys have that? Girls don't poop.
No, I don't think that was ever my thing.
It was like girls don't poop, and we were all like, we all poop. What the fuck are you talking about? And like the like one expression of misogyny when I was going to high school in Long Island was a thing of girls don't poop. So we thought that if we pooped we were disgusting.
Oh my God.
And it was a way of saying you're disgusting.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, isn't the ultimate purpose of it to be like women take care of anything that's gross in private way?
That's right. Oh, but I wanted to say one thing that was cool about the Positive Edge was that we could skip school. So we would go indoctrinate 4th and 6th graders from high school and get to at least miss class.
Wait, so this is like school sponsored? Like you're like...
Yeah, and it's like related to cops and DARE.
Yeah.
And this like gym teacher who like was an alcoholic.
One gym teacher.
Oh my God.
Who like was an alcoholic, was like the head of it. And then eerily enough, I was just looking at this photo album with my brother. We would also take we would do a weekend retreat, very, very Christian coded, a weekend retreat in Greenkill, New York, where we would like, get to know each other better or whatever, but like talk about our long-term goals of not doing drugs, let's say, but then do like a talent show. And I was just looking at these pictures of, like joke cross-dressing and of a student. And I think I am pretty sure I played and sang Blackbird.
Yeah.
And the teacher...
Wait, is that bad? What's that?
The Beatles. Just
the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
The way you said it made it sound like
it was another
Blackbird
Nazi thing.
or like Blackbird,
she did
in
Blackbird in
blackface,
blackface.
like just to like.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm just like, I played acoustic guitar for the Christian children.
I see.
Like it's like still.
You said it with such shame that I was like, it's worse.
It's not as embarrassing, but it's like still pretty bad. It's like halfway there.
Yeah.
And like my friends and I did a fucking dance from the bum 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 bum.
Oh yeah, everybody dance now. From
This sounds fun, but it would be more fun if you were high for
and
all
fucking.
of us.
Like people weren't fucking. People weren't doing drugs.
Either?
No, it's
so
straight
abstinence.
Everybody was like scared, and like instead of like spending time actually exploring ourselves, we were investing our time in this stupid fucking club, which like thank God we realized was a total scam in 10th grade. But
did your Jewishness like counter this Christian
100%?
But why were you there?
Oh, because my best friends were there, and because we were like nerds, and we like didn't figure out how to hook up yet. So we were like, it must be because we're straight edge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good though. There's at least you were like, I don't know. there's something really. I was doing none of the bad things, but like scared someone would find out that I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean? Like I was not doing drugs or like and not having sex, but I would never have joined the club because I didn't want to be. I guess it was nerdier in my school to join that club. I don't know.
100%. Are you doing math right now? No, it was so fucking nerdy.
It sounded so cool.
Totally dorky and like sad. Honestly, like truly sad.
Well, I don't know. As a lonely person, like it is community. I can relate to you where I'm like, well, I wasn't doing any drugs and I was alone.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I know.
but the thing is like I was with my best friends who I'm still best friends with now.
Yeah.
And it's like, why were we doing this?
Yeah.
We were already having fun hanging out. But then like once we started, I guess, smoking weed and drinking a little bit, then we started making fun of it. And it did become fodder.
What was
Now,
that first moment?
Yeah, did that happen all at once, or like did one person be like, actually, this is fun? Or
Yeah.
you all
Did a
kind
friend
of-
come and say like, hey,
Yeah.
I tried it and I had a good time?
My best friend Daniel's big brother Kevin had a bong that he stole and brought to my house.
Okay.
And then we were just like, let's just try this.
Yeah.
That quickly? You just looking back, did none of it mean any of it?
None of
to
it meant
you?
anything.
Yeah.
No, it was garbage. It just meant to skip school. That was really the main
Yeah.
function. Which then that was the thing. Then in like later in high school, once I was the president, I was like skipping school and getting high and having sex and shit, like being a normal teenager.
And when you did the politics, were you two-faced in your political
I
presentation?
was more of like an extracurricular president,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean, than like a grades president.
What was your slogan? Do you remember?
It was, well, I don't want to say it because it was very anti-Semitic, but
Oh my
no,
God!
I'm just kidding. Just to follow the positive edge. No, I don't remember my slogan.
Did you make speeches? Like, were you must be popular to be a president.
I put up flyers. I would say I was well liked. I wouldn't say I was popular.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I wasn't like partying.
Did you pass any legislation?
I like picked the like pasta we ate at prom. You know what it was? It was more like prom duties.
Yes.
Like in junior year,
yeah.
we had a Hollywood theme.
Yeah.
And we put together a like kit, like a cardboard kit of Hollywood decorations,
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
like a giant clapboard,
Uh-huh.
like, you know what I mean, like old rolls of film made of corrugated cardboard. And then in senior year, I picked the venue and the like literally the pasta, like taste tested pasta,
Wow.
and like Italian foods. So it wasn't. I didn't really pass legislation. I remember something happening about vending machines. It's pretty blurry.
I was the student council president.
Yes,
And,
you. Oh, wait,
yeah.
you didn't. You should have
No,
said
I
it
know,
sooner.
But
He's never told me this either.
But again,
It's
it was one of the only things that we did, and the reason why I even got into student council was they were in charge of the talent shows. And
Yeah.
I went one year to see a talent show, and I was so angry because all the like they had MCs, you know, and they would do sketches in between things, and they just took SNL sketches and did them.
Oh, bizarre.
And it made me so angry. I was like, you can just take so you get I was like, well, I'll get involved in student council, and then I did that just so I could run the talent show.
Nice.
And
you said make original work.
yes, well, I put myself as the head of the MCs, and I cast it how I would cast it. You know,
Nice.
After that show, did they go, let's go back to those old SNL classics?
no, it killed.
A lot more
It went
structure.
really well.
It did?
Oh yeah. Oh, people were.
I think
talking about it.
he had good comedy taste. You told me he was like in a garage with your friends, and you were like, Judd Apatow's the future.
One of the first
And,
times, one of the first
way
times I
back.
drank, I was like, you guys gotta, and I was like, it was like early on, but my friend like years later was like, remember you drunkenly telling everyone at this party that they gotta look up Judd Apatow.
14 years old. You're like, he's a
like-
talent. You're gonna wanna watch a 40-year-old
Yeah,
man.
you're gonna-
He still
Wait,
says it. It's very annoying at parties. And I'm like, he's doing great. He's done
doing
great.
okay.
He's
Are
good.
you saying based off of Freaks and Geeks?
Yes.
Cool. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. What a little.
Yeah.
You're on top of your shit.
My proudest is and it was only because a friend introduced me, but the Lonely Island, I was watching their videos way before SNL.
Yeah.
Like weird, like the MTV pilot that didn't go, Awesome Town.
Oh, yeah.
So that's like one of the
Mm.
few comedy things that I'm like, oh, I got in a little early.
Yeah.
But I didn't have I was a Seinfeld guy.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
We were like 4. You were like 3.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch it that young?
I don't know if I watched the beginning. I definitely watched it with my dad a lot. I think sometimes that, because my mom's Jewish, but I think like more of my Jewish leanings come from Seinfeld was my main intake comedically or TV with my dad. I think that's where my Jewishness.
So your mom's Jewish, your dad's Italian.
Yeah.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. I mean, they were separated, so at least I got to deal with this half and then that half.
Yeah. I just mean genetically, it's like, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like bursting.
Well, we don't know how Italian your dad is.
I have a great grandpa, definitely Italian.
name's very
great grandpa
Italian.
Luigi. But we recently had a dinner and they said my great grandma was from Spain. And I'm like, am I as equally from Spain as I am from Italy? Why haven't we discussed this? And I know why we haven't discussed it, because my dad just Italian.
Yeah.
He was like The Godfather. We watched The Godfather like it was a home movie. It was insane. But I don't know. Doesn't everyone have it tough? Isn't all that stuff
Yeah.
just us saying like, oh, it's tough? Yeah, it was tough. 2 Jewish parents, 1 Italian. Having parents is tough.
Being alive is really fucking hard.
Being alive. You were Seinfeld with the family?
Yeah, when I was a kid, just like really young, my parents they weren't like, go to bed. We like watched it. I watched it really young.
I guess it was pretty like, it wasn't that dirty,
Family
but there were a
friendly,
couple
yeah.
dirty. Like I definitely the sponge episode. I remember that early. Do you remember
What
the
was
sponge?
that? Her contraception?
Yeah, so there was like
Yeah.
they were not going to make it anymore. She had 10 sponges left. And I
right.
definitely watched the episode knowing it had to do with sex. If you told me here's a sponge, here's a vagina, what's going on here? I would have been like, I got no idea. I got no idea how the sponge actually works. But it was a good introduction. There was an episode about masturbation.
Yes.
Yes.
So yeah, I think it's good. It's a decent. I think that would be a
It was
better
hella
sex ed.
Jewy. Like, it's really very Jewy.
Yeah, and like New York Jewy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever watch Seinfeld growing up?
Not really. Here and there. Like I've seen some of the bigger episodes.
Wow,
you
that is
know?
super goyish.
I know. I just didn't. But my parents didn't. So I was like
Yeah.
that, you know, you're kind of like, but maybe they're anti-Semitic. I don't know.
So you, yeah.
Is
it's
there
I was like,
possible?
why do they watch
Pretty
Friends but
common.
not Seinfeld? You know
So
what I mean?
you graduated with 100 kids.
Yeah.
And how many did you graduate with?
For high school, probably like 100, 112.
And you like thought like public school kids were like bad girls and boys.
I just
You
remember.
fetishize it,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, certainly there was that. Certainly there was a degree of like I was in a hip hop dance class. I remember.
Oh my God.
This was
in
like
school? Like
no, but
Oh.
but like extracurricular and like so you'd deal with public
Yeah.
school kids, and I just
You
remember
deal with public
you
school
deal with
kids.
them.
You do what you can to deal with them.
you'd Febreze after they left the room.
It was more middle school, high school. People were my high school. Certainly, people were doing drugs. People were dealing pot.
Honestly, I feel drugs and sex are like worse at private school.
Yeah.
Because you got better drugs, honestly.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. But I just remember this
Oof.
girl in the hip hop class. She had, were they called kangaroos or roos? The sneaker with like a little pocket on them, and it was like, oh, that pocket was for a condom,
Oh,
Oh,
my
and it
God.
being
shit.
like, oh my god.
I remember this.
There was a
For everyone or just for that girl?
you condom. What do you mean?
It was a bit like
A huge pocket?
understood as like, you know what I mean? That's what you
Oh,
would do with it.
yeah.
Or drugs.
Okay.
Condom or drugs.
It was for something
Something
It wasn't
Yeah,
for
yeah.
like
A
your
naughty
erasers.
pocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember at my middle school, which was very Christian coded, but in the past, but there was still a cross at the assembly or whatever.
Did you have to do religious classes?
No.
Oh, cool.
We did the Lord's Prayer.
Oh,
They never said Jesus, but there was a cross there. And there was a debate with like the family. Because there were
they
so
were
many
like, the guy.
there were so many Jews there
Oh.
at the school. So the cross would be there, but we'd all go up like putting nails into it.
Yeah.
And thanks, Russell.
Yeah.
We had one girl who in 8th grade went to a party at the all boys school, and we heard she got felt up, and it was like, this was in my straight edge days, and I just remember some weird moment where I was like talking to her because I knew her at some degree, and I was like, is everything okay? It was such, and it was so looking back, it was so male feminist derogatory way of like, hey, is everything okay?
I'm going to
Do you
sell
want me
this
to
for
check
you.
and make sure like everything's still where it should be? like you know, I think a lot of times when I look back at like, I'm like, oh, I I'm not saying I'm a perfect man in this world, but like I look back and I'm like, oh, I had that toxic phase that some people seem to
Definitely.
have
Yeah.
their whole life in their 50s and 60s. I had that in 7th grade and 8th grade.
Sure.
Yeah.
And thank God when it was just like, you know, it was just
When
low
you're
key.
going to be rejected anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was not going to hurt anybody. She was like, I'm good. You know, this is crazy. What you're bringing up for me is I remember kids got caught, like a girl giving a guy a blowjob in the bathroom in 7th grade.
That
was happening at school.
So that's what I mean.
Wild.
That's
If that
crazy.
happened at my middle school, it would have been, they would have
And then
burned the school down.
here's another question. We had a lot of pervy teachers, lots of teachers trying to hook up with the kids.
Mhm.
Did you have that?
We definitely had.
Oh my gosh, your face.
I don't know. When I was there, we didn't have.
Oh my God,
we didn't
what a
have.
face.
I didn't have one, but right before I got there was a teacher that is, I think, still married to, like, she, like,
Married
was
the
having an
student?
affair with a student,
Fuck.
and then got in trouble, forced out, and then I think she's married the guy, like
Yowz.
3 years later.
And it justifies it. It's like, it's real love.
I know,
even
but
though
then
he
you
was a
see May
kid.
December, and you're like, oh, it's fucked up.
Yeah. Oh, it is.
Yeah.
That's what it took for you to understand the problem with.
Finally.
No, but like with the whole Mary Kate, you know, like that thing, you're like, oh yeah, it is always fucked up. And even if they get married, it's always
That's
fucked
right.
up.
But like in
It's
the
a
90s, it
foundation.
was like, no, it's a good, solid marriage.
yeah,
you
no,
know,
they
but-
really loved each other.
Yeah,
you know?
no, that person was a child
Yeah.
when they met.
Yeah, person's a
Well,
child.
what's Emmanuel Macron, the French president? That's
yeah.
Wait,
you look
he
up the age
married
difference?
his
Yes.
teacher.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Woo! Shit's crazy. That's
Yeah.
crazy. I think it was like a Long Island thing, like pervs as teachers, and then constantly getting excused and protected by the school.
Was it just
Because I've asked my whole adulthood, like, did this happen in your school? And people are like,
What kind of like actual
more
relationships, or
men
more
with-
just like not just you know?
you're basically saying, let me get some details on
No,
this.
I just-
like, I think younger women and older men, and then being like pervs and trying to talk to them outside of school, and sometimes dating.
Oh, God.
Crazy shit.
Mine was more.
I remember
My school in the 80s, the teachers used to do drugs with the students, which that's better. Pot. I mean,
It's better,
often
but it's
it
like
no,
only-
that's weird.
It's like a half a step
Yeah.
away from sexual relationship.
When I was a student
It's me.
teacher, I went to school to be a teacher. I remember running to a kid in the mall and being like, "Get away from me!"
Yeah, get
Like,
outta here,
Feeling
bud.
like
Scram.
this is weird
Yep.
that I'm seeing you not. You know what I mean? Like,
Scram.
like they came up to me in a store and I was like, "Get away!" You know, like no, it's so crazy. The drinking or the drugs was no, you can't.
Have you decided with your kid? How do you think your kid's gonna feel with pot? Do you think because you use pot publicly that they might be like, ugh, this is for older people?
I imagine it's gonna be an unfortunate, like, well, you do it, so I can do it.
Yeah,
Pass for her, permission
Mm-hmm.
slip for her or something. But the thing is that I'm gonna have to explain is that weed is stronger and like industrialized now. I would like honestly at some age try to provide swaggy weed.
That could be a new brand. Honestly, I don't feel like we've had that as a branded pot thing. It's like shit weed. Like, hey, this
Yeah.
is not that
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
You can really smoke
weed
this
for
up.
kids.
Are there any country? You know how they say that? That's what they always say. They say, well, in France they give a little glass of wine in 15, and that's why they don't binge drink. That's what they always
I
said.
kind of believe that. Do you?
I believe it for the most
Well,
part.
your dad's such an Italian. Did you drink wine with dinner?
I had a bud. I had a beer now and then with my
Oh,
dad.
cute.
But I
How
just
old?
15.
Wow.
If I was at my dad's house, I'd have a beer with dinner.
So cute.
Wow.
But the bottom line is, it's not about my upbringing. It's what I am. I'm not. I don't drink excessively. I don't smoke
Well, I was
pot.
going to ask you, like, if you drink on the road, because we were just talking about, to me, the feeling of like entering a project and dying. It feels like I'm dying, or at least pausing my real life. It's kind of severance coded.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're like going? Are you like dying when you're on the road and not living your life?
Definitely, but I've always been, as Russell can attest, I'm neurotically ambitious, and I will always prioritize health and like fitness stuff.
nice.
Like
Oh, I love.
I would drink beers if you told me beers had no calories. Sure, I drink a
Nice.
bunch.
Wow.
But now I do intermittent fasting, and like I cling on to my own self-imposed rules. They
love.
give me something in life. And it could also be very limiting. My openers who I've been opening with them for now 2 years. We've spent more of our lives together than we have any other person in my life, including my girlfriend, I would imagine. And they say, we've never gotten drunk with you. And I thought, that's so sad. I love to get drunk. But I make it, it's gotta be super special.
Yeah.
But I look back on my high school, I look back on my college, and I would have killed to have smoked pot in college. I just didn't. And I wasn't even in this fucking Nazi program. Like I just did it on my own accord.
Yeah.
I was scared, or I was just like, well, I got to wake up early so I can do my singing practice.
Have you ever gotten into weed?
Oh, I'm super into. I mean, again, I'm super into
Because it's
weed.
no calories.
Partially.
Are you smoking it? You gummying?
It depends. With the intermittent fasting, I've had to find strips that were
Tell
under
me the
5
deal.
calories.
I just do 12 hours and I just stick to 12 hours.
Uh-huh.
Are you like manipulating the windows?
I do 16/8.
Girl.
But
What?
But I eat like it's. I'm not saying that this can't be
16-8.
permanent.
You're thin. You're gonna waste away.
Wait, 16 is no eating.
16
16
off,
hours
8
of no
on.
eating.
So I have 2 meals essentially.
I feel
But
like it's like you're in the desert and the wind is like passing by and you're like, by the time that like hour comes.
But
what?
I literally
Constantly? 16-8 constantly?
yeah.
That's why you were so hangry when we got to Toronto.
I'm just kidding, but that's also nuts.
I mean, but let me tell you this: I ate a lot, like always healthy, but I would eat like so many almonds and so many things all the time. Now that I do this, I now eat like dessert freely. I order anything I want. I eat French fries. I didn't eat French fries for like a decade, and now I'm like, oh. So again,
Wow.
it's like giving me an order that I now can be free, and I will adjust.
Sure.
But it's the best thing. I was in Australia, and the promoter was taking out us to meals, and every meal, it felt like every night we were engorging ourselves. And I was like, I don't want to not have these meals.
Yeah.
But I don't want to come back from Australia and feel like
Are you
fuck, I'm behind.
are you flexible with the time? Like for instance, if you have a meal after a show, are you then pushing the window? Okay, I see.
And will you eat before a show?
Yeah, but I used to literally have like a meal before the show and then a meal in between on a 2-show night.
Yeah.
Now I have a big meal before that 7 p.m. show, and I'm done until the next day.
Like I'll do the 12 hours, except when I'm on the road, I have to eat enough like protein and complex carbs leading up to the show. And I do need to eat after. The same thing. I need like meat, veggies, and complex carbs.
I'm a fan. I don't know.
16-8. Oh my gosh. That's disciplined.
Yeah. I'm disciplined about those kinds of things. I'm good at. I could have been a priest.
Oh.
I could have been a priest. I do think I find some kind
What
of
aspect of being a priest? Just not sex.
fair-
just the loving the Lord and the pedophilia.
What? They
Yeah,
don't. Do
that's
they
a
eat
fair-
a specific kind
No,
of?
I'm just
thing?
saying like it's,
Well, they do
it's
16-8,
rules.
the priesthood.
You find purpose. You find purpose in structure. That
You could
a
just
lot
be
of it's
made up.
religious
Yeah.
if you wanted. But yeah.
No.
I wanna
Wait,
be-
so did you grow up with a Christianity? No, wait, I cut you off. Sorry. You want to be a
No.
what?
No, I want to be like I'm a priest, but then when they go to the praying, I'm like, I'm just here for the structure.
Okay.
I'm
just
here for the dresses
Yeah.
and the structure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Priest feels lonely though. Like nuns have each other.
Yeah,
You
nuns got
know?
each other's backs.
You know, like
Priests
nuns
stab each other
priests.
in the
I
fucking
don't
back.
like. Do priests hang out? Like it's just one priest, right?
Well,
In
I
a-
feel like if priests hang out, they like hook up, so they have to like be
Yeah.
careful.
Yeah.
Sure.
Is the sense I get,
Yeah.
but I'm like
no, I agree.
very far
Where's
from
that
Christianity.
scandal? Where's the fun priest scandal of like, the priests are hooking up with each other?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Francis,
That'd be nice.
Pope Francis, he was like fun for a second.
Which one was he?
He was like, gay people are cool,
Oh yeah, the one.
and trans people are people.
Yes.
I think.
That's the
What
low
hap-
bar for the popes we got these days. Real fun guy. Yeah, okay. Gay people are people, fine. There was, when I went to Rome, I think there was a walking tour, and he said, I think I brought this up once, where there was a statue of like a young boy, and they said, this was a young boy that Pope whatever picked to be like his fuck boy.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh.
Pope,
Oh, they said that.
yeah, he said that.
Oh.
And then it wasn't the Vatican tour.
Oh, okay.
And then apparently this Pope, I'd say look it up, but God knows what would come up. That this Pope, the way he died, he was fucked so hard.
By who?
By this.
Wait a second. The Pope was penetrated.
was bottoming,
so...
yeah. I mean, listen, Jesus was penetrated, so it's like,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Ugh, I love Jesus.
You mean the
Quadru- not even
nails.
DP, it's QP.
Oh my God.
Nah, so that's why I'm not a priest. You see, that's why I'm not a priest.
Okay.
Wait, this priest had gotten fucked so hard that was how he died?
The Pope.
The
That's-
Pope?
that's what the
How
tour guide
come we're
said.
not all talking about it? Wait.
Also, like, when
Because
did that...
it's not like Dumois. It wasn't a recent one. Dumois, 16th century Pope fucked so hard he died.
No, gets fucked so hard.
Gets fucked so hard.
Oh my God.
Okay, Google it on the screen. That's not public.
He had a paralytic stroke. Suffered while having sex with. Oh wait, no, this is
With a woman.
With a woman.
No, I don't care
Oh,
about
who
that
cares?
one.
Yeah.
Boring.
Go
Who
her
cares?
bye.
Who hasn't had a paralytic stroke after having sex with a woman?
Wait, I'm still not understanding why you just want to be a priest for rules.
I'm not saying I want to be a priest. I'm saying that the
would-
one
why
thing
would
that
you
I
have been
the
good?
one thing that I have that some people you could admire it in some respects, but in others is very life limiting. Is like in a chaotic universe, the way that I deal with my depression isn't chaos. It's like
Got it.
trying to okay,
Fight.
well I got to be up by then, and I got to get this done, and I got to do that.
You could be a farmer.
Yeah.
You
You'd
know?
be a good prisoner
Prisoner.
as well.
I'd be solitary confinement. Honestly, I'd be equally as happy as I am right now with
are-
all of this looseness.
Yeah, you kind of, what you're describing is a self-imposed imprisonment.
Yeah.
It's true. I think, yeah. Did you find it?
Just to be fair, there's a lot of popes that died while having sex.
Oh,
So,
wow.
there's one here that had a stroke also while being
Oh.
sodomized by a page boy.
That's the
That's
one.
it.
Oh my God,
That's
that's
the one.
Gianmarco's favorite
Yeah.
pope.
Paul the
one
second,
who-
1471.
Wow.
1471.
1471.
And
Gianmarco's favorite pope.
and also the
Wow.
word got out. They in 1471 they weren't able to cover that
it
up.
seems like they really got
Or he
Google
was
pretty
proud
wrapped.
and he
Or
let
was
people
proud.
know. He was like, I fucking killed this dude who's literally abusing me all day, every day, and I murdered him because I go so hard. Okay. How long you been doing 16/8?
Since August.
Okay.
It's for me, it's been a real game changer physically. It's been a game changer like travel wise. I don't have to go to I used to airport lounges was like the thing, and I would get this offer, and now I go like, oh, I don't need to have a breakfast. I have a big brunch, and I have a big brunch, spending a lot of money, and in my mind I go, well, I didn't pay for 3 meals, so it's fine. Big brunch, huge dinner, that's it.
Done, babe.
Change my body. Great meals. I feel like I can really indulge. I've had desserts in a way that I haven't in so long. So I like it a lot. I do think at some point I will have to loosen it so that I can go drinking. We're in Toronto,
Yeah.
and after the shows, you would just
Yeah,
have
but
some drinks.
you're touring all the time. So like that's your normal. I'm popping
that's
in
true.
for
Right,
like a
right.
fun night, you know.
I stopped drinking, and part of it was being on tour. I couldn't expend the energy on alcohol.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It like costs so much to
Yeah.
my body. And then when I would drink, I was like, wow, I feel like shit. I feel like sad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's like I'm like already dealing with depression, but then to like induce it was like so stupid.
Sure.
And September I stopped drinking, and that's been really lovely.
It's great.
Well, let's see. I feel like we got all your high school in there. So you got this.
I've been talking so much about high school lately in press. It's really weird how it's coming up. I'm 37.
I think the straight edge thing. I mean, if it's still a thing, I think you should become president again. You should lead this charge.
Really scary stuff.
Um,
Yeah, well, that
So
was my high school.
how old's your kid now? 3?
She's 3.5.
3.5. How's it going?
It's going really good. I mean, it's like really hard, and it's so extremely everything that it's hard to. I would say it's going good because I'm really enjoying it, and I like feel like I don't know, like I'm on my knees every day, being like, "Thank you."
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing, but it's like intense and hard.
Is terrible twos a thing, or is that just an invent? I feel like people always
Well,
talk about that when I was a.
I think it's fucking rude and reductive, and it's like our like boomer parents couldn't deal with the choice they made to have children,
Yeah.
so they were like terrible twos, and it's like this is a tiny person who's
Yeah.
experiencing life and feelings for the first time, so can you give him a little grace?
Sure.
But yeah, the like 2 to 3 is very hard. And it's like scary for them. Their feelings are like bigger than their bodies can hold.
Sure.
It's like, it looks so painful and hard. But for a parent too, you're like, you know what I mean? You're like, you don't know how to solve for their pain or struggles. And what feels uncomfortable to them is like a crisis, feels like it's like an urgent life or death crisis to them. So it's like upsetting. So it is terrible in a way, but I really resent boomer parenting culture.
I saw some video where it was babies crying, and then the parents put a microphone in front of their face that makes like a amplified sound. And so they go like, wah, and make this big sound, and then they would get confused and kind of curious about the sound. And let me tell you something.
It sounds like
if
torture.
I had a kid, SAG-AFTRA would have to get involved because
What?
every baby, like, oh my God, look, we tried this with the baby. Or there's one where parents just throw a piece of cheese at the baby's head and it sticks like this, and the baby's fine.
A slice of cheese, I'm digging. The microphone, I'm concerned.
No, but it's so cool because the baby goes like, wah, wah. And they're just interested in a new sound. They just get distracted.
I don't like this.
Why?
Because
Why do you like it so much?
because you see how like the baby in that moment, their curiosity over what's happening. It's not like it's a strap to their face like a surgery. It's just their curiosity at a thing happening supersedes I'm mad right now. And sometimes, the same way where like if a baby hurts themselves, again, I'm talking, these are all from videos, my entire knowledge, where like if you go, oh no, oh baby, that they'll start sobbing because there's like a degree of like you're reinforcing a bad thing happened.
But
if you go like, rah,
but are you then negating whatever they're feeling and
Yes.
and like they're not then able you're
Certainly.
distracting
You had an
them
amplifying
from feeling.
For sure you are.
Imagine though if when you were sad about something,
I don't want to imagine
But
it.
like,
if you told me like I'm really depressed
picture
right now.
this. A baby's weeping, sobbing.
You're like, picture this. You're sad about something, and all of a sudden the walls fly away, and I'm like, wait, what's happening? That's not better. That's
Why?
not-
Were you
I'm
just
still going to
describing
be
it? Having
sad
fun?
in like 10 minutes. I'm just
I-
going to have to get used
then
to a
something
new
else will happen.
reality.
I like hate
Like-
distracting kids and adults from their feelings. I think it just shows no offense.
Wait, so when your kid's getting a shot, you're like, look at this needle. Look right at
I
it.
literally just do this.
Oh my God.
And then I wait for her to feel whatever. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is this extra mishigas on top of it? It's like, what? Just let it do its fucking thing. And it's not a big deal.
We're in entertainment.
It
You
is-
just described our whole industry. It's to do that
Well, I
in
guess
a grander sense.
Well, becoming a parent has also helped me like separate this as a job from a like lifestyle. Sorry.
Sure, yeah. Sure.
Sorry. It's just like, because it's like unhealthy in me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I notice myself distracting myself from my feelings where I'm like, whatever, I'll just go on Instagram. And then I'm like scrolling and it's like, then that feeling is like bubbling up inside of me, and yeah, like the microphone thing is just like fucking weird,
How passionate you are about it.
Like imagine like a sound engineer doing like, and the baby's not crying and then hearing their like little voice. Like that's a different thing than it crying. That feels like pretty,
I don't think like the baby, like, he got shot and they said, let me distract him now. It was just like a general like, oh, this
doesn't
baby.
matter. They're feeling a real
I'm going to
thing.
find this video and we're going to put it in. It's very cute. It feels very innocent.
but like when people are like, try to interrupt my daughter being upset, it's uncomfortable, but I'm like, no, it's okay. It's okay. I like cut them off. I've become a lot like pushier
so like
in
what?
that way.
Because I imagine I do
think
this.
people
So
probably do crazy things like in public, like in terms of like, I just notice it with dogs. Sometimes you'll be like, you don't know my dog. Like people will offer up an opinion or a thing. And I can't imagine having a kid and having to like if they're crying or something and people try to like tell you like,
And like people are doing their best and shit. And we also have no community and this like manufactured nuclear family to isolate us and make ourselves like all hail capitalism god or something. So people are just trying to connect and I get it, but it's also like, it's inappropriate. This old woman once, we were at a museum and my daughter was like really struggling and she was in her terrible twos and or tough twos. and this old lady, and she was like, "Can I try?" And I was like, "No," and she was like, "Okay." she
puts the
away.
microphone back in her purse.
Yeah. She was literally like about to steal my baby. I was like, "Get the fuck
Yeah, you're
out
like,
of here,
what?
Granny."
You're gonna raise her? Like,
yeah,
what?
and like you're a delicate little old lady, so you think I care what you think?
Yeah.
Like, this is inappropriate. Get out of here.
Were you? I always wonder.
Ugh.
I'm not a very confrontational person in certain respects, but I'm like, if I had a kid, would that change?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm so not confrontational, and I'm naturally like I'll suck your dick, whatever you want. You know what I mean? I'm like totally want to please everybody and make them think I'm the best, so they love me. And I've like just gotten I'm too literally at max capacity, literally meaning like genuinely physically and time-wise at my bandwidth in a 24-hour day with a kid and a career and a relationship. So it's like there's no choice but to change. But I'm also like, thank God. It's been annoying me. You know what I mean? This like
Yeah.
you know, like sensation that like is what we're born with and what gets us out of whatever tough upbringing situation we're in. And then we like we have found our community and a purpose and a drive and a flow. And then it gets past a point where I'm like, I don't need this anymore. You know what I mean? This is like, it's not serving me anymore.
Do you think I was thinking as I was getting ready for this, I'm like, if I found out that my mom had a 5-season TV show from 10 years ago, like, would I watch it or would I truly have almost zero interest in it at all? Because I don't know. I could know more about my dad, but like I haven't, for a multitude of reasons. But I'm saying like it's sometimes it's just like we had someone on who like didn't want to. There were certain things he wanted cut. Because he was like, my kid's I don't want my kid to listen that I did this. And I was like, buddy, there is no fucking chance in hell.
That you're cutting that shit?
No. Oh, no.
Oh, I was like, damn. Okay.
Just get it out there. There's no fucking, no. I said, that's so
You
funny.
hear that?
I said, buddy,
hard.
there's no fucking chance I'm cutting that.
Yeah.
I'm sending that to your kid every birthday.
Yeah, you're giving him the Godfather treatment.
I said, there's no fucking chance your kid is listening to your episode of The Downside 10 years from now.
Yeah.
There's no chance. This idea of, but I don't know what it's like to be in entertainment, especially in our generation where there's a lot out there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't know. Whatever the fuck she wants to do is what she's going to do.
Yeah.
I mean, if she wants to engage with it, I'll talk to her about it.
Any age you'd say, you're a little young to watch mommy's TV show.
Yeah. I feel like Broad City, like if people want to watch Broad City, if parents, like I think 10, an astute 10-year-old, literally, I think an astute 10-year-old could watch Broad City.
Think about what you were watching when you were 10.
No, certainly. Well, first I'm not in the average. I'm pushed. I saw some crazy shit when I was 6.
And also
so I saw
crazy shit when
I
I
saw-
was 6.
I saw a lot of sex stuff. I saw a lot of sex stuff before I understood the mechanics of sex. So I saw GoldenEye, the James Bond movie, I think when I was 6. And what my mom, I watched it with my dad. And I said to my mom, I said, there's a woman in GoldenEye who kills you with sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then later it's, when they're fucking, she uses her thighs to cut off your airway.
Ugh,
and
I
that's
love
how she does it.
That's
And see,
lit.
as someone a couple years older than you, I understood that when I first saw GoldenEye. I understood that she was using her thighs.
I thought it was
Initially,
like, I thought it was like, there was like a way just through
That's
the
like
act
the
of sex.
vagina
Like,
was like,
yeah.
okay.
Basically.
I would think it was pussy muscles, but okay, thighs.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
the
I'm
thing
wrong.
about Broad City is that it's like
we just find it. We're like, wait, what?
I think that with Broad City, it's like safe for women and femmes, which makes it safe for everybody. So it's like the messages of sex are non-violent; they're autonomous, as is the drug use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas in like messages and like TV and film I saw growing up, they were like, "Come on, babe, just do it so I can fuck you."
Sure.
And it was like,
sure.
Okay, this would be cool, And I was like watching and being like, and like the women all had bodies I would never have. I would never grow to have. And I was like, yeah, cool. I'll be like I'll be pressured to drink, and that'll be cool. That's like how things are.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So it's like Broad City is like,
Revenge of the Nerds. I think is always one of the most toxic things that I saw growing up. And it was more of an 80s movie, but my dad let me rent it.
Is
And
there a
it's-
date rape in it?
So otherwise it's a good movie. Otherwise he's a great guy.
When's the last time you watched it?
But no, the scene that I just remember, the lesson where there was a nerdy guy. He wanted the cheerleader or whatever. He was with the jock. There's a costume party where he's Darth Vader. And so what the nerdy guy does is he dresses up like Darth Vader. They go to some room and he goes down on her.
Oh my God.
And then, he pulls the mask off and she goes, oh my God, that was so good. Like, nerds are so good at eating pussy that now I'm in love with you. And I definitely, there was
Is
the
this not
idea
the
of like,
worst?
oh, that's not the worst.
This is not the worst.
Oh, what? Yeah.
Well, first of all, he's eating her out.
Yeah.
Literally, what's the joke?
That's true. That nerd who wrote it could have written it that she
He
went out on
pleased her
him and
so-
he had a
Exactly.
huge dick.
Sure.
You know,
Exactly.
like, yeah,
he
sure.
yeah.
pleased her so well,
Yeah.
she fell in love with him. That sounds like kind of lit.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Why take it back? I guess it
Okay.
really is a noble story. I guess, yeah, if we're going to rank assaults.
Yeah. But it is crazy when sometimes
Is that to fuck someone and they think it's somebody else is bad
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, this is pretty close to that.
Oh, it is that.
Yeah, it is that.
Yeah, it is that.
But being that it's like a fictional movie or whatever, like the fact that what was represented as the act
Was there
like,
any movie you remember looking back or a comedy thing? There was did you watch the documentary on Netflix? It was basically about like how transness was dealt with in movies over the course of the world. And it also it's like one of those things where it goes like, look, in the 20s we there were trans actors and all these things, but there's this Ace Ventura.
I was
yeah.
just fucking thinking
Crazy.
about
Man,
this.
when you see it-
It is so violent. They just kiss, right?
Yeah,
They
people
just
are
kiss.
throwing up. People are like
Yeah.
heads exploding.
So for those,
It's
if
like-
you've never seen it, and again, I have to say, Ace Ventura, a classic comedy, with Jim Carrey at the height of his powers. But there's a scene where he kisses a woman and then finds out later.
it doesn't do it for me.
It doesn't do it for me.
never did it for me. The Ace Ventura.
And he has a scene where he's mopping
always
his mouth, he's vomiting.
Yeah.
And it's just
in the shower crying.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so funny. I was just thinking about this like 3 days ago. Is the algorithm
I was just
like,
watching it 3 days ago.
here? You know what I mean? It like scared.
Uh-huh.
I was
Uh-huh.
like just thinking about this about like that was so fucking rude and dumb, and they just fucking kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, like, isn't there like crazy like representation of indigenous culture too?
Is that the second one?
Oh, I don't know.
He comes out of a rhino in the second one. I
What does that
remember
have to
he's
do
like
with
in
anything?
Africa. Well,
Oh,
because
he's
he's in Africa and he like comes out of a rhino, like, and people think he's being born, but it was like a machine. It's like a robot rhino. I don't
I
know.
don't think that's offensive though. I think that's
No,
just,
I'm just
No,
saying he was in
no.
Africa. That's why maybe.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I was mixing up like the offensive content between 1 and 2,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and Russell was clarifying which was which.
Was like my favorite part from the second movie. is
Comes
this.
out of the
But
rhino.
you're
Show me
right.
the face that he made. It
You're
was a
right,
good scene.
Gianmarco. I don't think my daughter's gonna watch this episode. I don't fear that.
You're like, well, you have to be 10 Broad City,
Oh.
12 for my downside episode.
But then for your sweet 16, you know what you're getting to watch? I'm sitting you down. I'm showing you my episode of this podcast. But then the other thing I wanted to say about your other guest is that it's like, I really work on, we were just talking about this earlier. I really work on like context switching, like authentically shifting from the inside out, not like code switching, like matching what, is expected of me, but like genuinely from the inside out, shifting like between personal and being a normal person, which is really hard when I'm a like robot desperate to please people to program
yeah.
them to like me, to like professional context, to like performative context. So it's like so funny to come on here and like spill it all and then be like, fucking cut that, man. I didn't mean to say that. It's like, can you think for 2 seconds about the context of what you're about to do and then adjust to be in that appropriately?
Yeah.
No offense to like totally rag on your former guest, but it's like our responsibility to
No, it's okay.
be appropriate, right?
Yeah. No, it's funny. It doesn't happen that often, but it is surprising when you do because you're like, yeah.
Like,
It's a new world.
It is a new
We're all
world. It
dealing
is,
with
yeah.
paranoia. We're also dealing with paranoia of like a slightly different time where it felt like you might get more trouble. And then there's so
Right.
much content that no one really has focus anymore
Right.
to do that. I don't know, but it sucks.
What sucks?
But if it's you know, cut. But if you need it, you're gonna be like none of the kid stuff. That's also what they say sometimes. They go, "Hey, can we cut the kid stuff?" And I go, "Jesus, we call back to it." And
but that's just what I'm saying. I'm like, then just say before. Let's not talk about.
Or in the moment, I'm like, no one's ever told me. And I said, come on,
we got it.
Except for that girl who got felt up and you were checking on her.
Well, I got
you were
it
like,
out of my
come on,
system.
let me check it out.
That's why I
Let
feel
me
bad
make
for those
sure."
YouTubers who started in 8th grade. I'm like, they had a lot of, thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God I didn't have a Twitter back in the day.
Yeah.
Thank God. Honestly, I was sad that they got rid of AIM because I wanted to look through just to see. I'm sure it would have been bad.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been. I see old Facebook messages and I go like, I'm not that. I don't know what that is. I can't believe my brain ever thought that.
That is. I just deleted my Tumblr and I was like, I'm scared. I'm scared, like of who I was and what I was like working through publicly.
Yeah.
I never did Tumblr. What?
I just saw Gianmarco's Adam's apple go from here to
He's
to
like
here.
Tumblr still.
Tumblr. No, I just joined Tumblr. I just joined Tumblr. I'm the opposite direction.
Oh my god!
I'm
Oh
telling
my
you now, I'm like,
god!
what
You
have I
poor
put on
thing.
there?
I scared the shit out of him. I was like,
I think I'd be most scared. I think
Oh my
AIM is
goodness.
would be my most scared.
but what do you mean?
AM.
Like scared? Like you were pushing girls?
No,
or
it would
something?
be like
no,
it
not
would be
that.
like
I don't even know what
embarrassing.
my
It'd be
embarrassing.
song
I don't know
lyrics,
what my comedy was
Sondheim
though.
lyrics. You'd have Sondheim lyrics.
That was before. I'd have more emo lyrics. I don't know what my
Sondheim.
comedy was back then. I'm sure it wasn't.
that it was like rude and problematic or whatever.
yeah.
My shit was like all girls, as far as I know, were being like abused. Like it was like ASL when we were like 13, female, Smithtown, Long Island, and they
Yeah.
were like 33, down to chat. You know what I mean? It was like
Yeah.
real.
Oh
I
my
remember being in
God.
a chat and someone kept going, KKK, and I thought it was like okay, and then eventually I was like, oh no,
They're
KKK,
impatient. They're impatient.
club.
KKK, like yeah.
Yikes.
I remember doing that in like 5th grade. Like I was at a friend's birthday party, and they were like, "We're gonna go in this chat room," and it was like so scary. And I was like, and I remember being there, being like, "Do you guys do this alone at home?" Like, because I was like, "This is so scary."
It was
Like,
so
thank God I have my
scary.
brothers here to like, because like I wouldn't be able to. This would be so scary at home if I was doing this alone.
Yeah.
But they were, and I
And
was
not
like,
only
this
is
so
it like if a
scary.
kid had that situation now, that's scary, but like the moment they like break out of it and it reaches an adult or an older sibling, like it can be corrected. But it was the first time that was happening
Yes,
ever.
yes.
Nobody knew. Our parents had
one.
no idea what the fuck we were doing in our basements on those computers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to our. Oh well, let me just say real quick. I didn't even. We skipped the intro because we were going right into it. Join the Patreon, guys. Patreon.com/downside. 2 bonus episodes every month with me and Russell. Hit
This
it.
has gotta stop.
This has got to stop. Something that needs to stop and go away. Big, small, societal. Russell, you got something?
Yeah, actually, it comes with a story from our little show the other day.
What's that little?
My
What's that little? There's smaller rooms in Toronto.
oh no, I just meant like we did one show. You know.
LIL.
Yes. Okay, this got to stop. Not being able to see what's on your computer before you open it. Now, it has not happened to me yet, knock on wood, but I've been with you twice.
Twice.
Yeah, twice. When you've opened a laptop, porn littered across it in a public setting, and I feel
No,
like
hold on. Not. We weren't at like a school.
okay,
we
we
were
were
in
at
a
a
corner.
we were at a diner. We were at a diner, and you opened it up, and there was porn littered across. And I think there should.
What do you mean littered? One screen.
Okay,
tabs.
but there's a lot happening on one single porn
Once in a
screen.
while-
3 tabs?
You know, it's like, oh, I'm gonna get to this video, and then you don't make it. Sometimes the tabs, you're like, what did I?
You
What am I good?
saved?
2 hours?
You say you
No, I
save?
just left it. I think I finished and I closed the laptop and I.
Yeah, that's my question. Is like, are you always getting caught? So you're slamming it shut?
Why are you getting
not
caught? You're on
Xing out?
tour.
No,
Why are
it's-
you not Xing out?
I think I just finished. I go, well, that task is done. The laptop's done. I'm not going from that and going now back to Wikipedia reading. Like, I did. I did everything the laptop was needed for.
I'm sort of like a secret agent where I'm like always making sure my tracks are covered.
Oh,
I'm
me too.
Xing
Yes.
out.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like I'm like putting my most important, boring documents.
Let me just say
I am-
for the record, 99% of the time, I'm knocking it
I
out of the park.
I think 2 instances is a lot. to
I'm
be
shocked.
with.
And at a
It
diner,
was the first.
It was not. It was over a year ago, but it wasn't another time I remember it happening. It's only happened. You're the only person it's happened.
We spent a lot of time together.
That's true, but I'm just
love
saying.
This Has Got to Stop, and it's about him. And it's like,
well, I am inventing it because I have even though I'm really good at it, I'm good at
you're good at
deleting.
Xing out porn after you come.
I'm so good at it.
Good.
But I do have that feeling of paranoia because I've been with you twice when it's happened that it could happen to
So
me.
it's almost like you have to thank him.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah.
I think there should be some invention where you could like put your thumb and you could see what's going to be on the screen. I don't know how you do
Ooh,
it.
put your penis.
Yeah. Pull out your penis.
The head of your penis, just on this little sort of square in the corner
Okay,
of
not
it.
going to do this in public.
But no, so I have a fear of it, even though I'm good at it. It never happened to me.
I
before.
think it's a version where as you're closing your laptop, the laptop's like, whoa, buddy.
Yeah, whoa. Yeah, that's
Remember?
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, I want my laptop to know.
Oh, I had another question. When it happened, did you call it out immediately?
Yes.
Oh, sweet.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
There's
that's
no.
You
I
call.
mean-
I mean, it wasn't like we were like. I mean, we're close enough that you know.
Oh yeah, I
You
wasn't
weren't
going to be like, I don't do this.
At least there was not noise. I will say that.
I've never done that. It's never been
Noise.
noise.
Yeah,
Oh.
because
Never
that'd be
been
even
noise.
worse. Like opening.
I
and
usually hit pause. I get that far. I'm making it halfway.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's impossible to hide it because he's so familiar with the shapes of the homepage that you clock it immediately.
The shapes of the homepage?
What do you mean? the
I'm
shapes?
just saying, like you see that
I
page.
think we're
and
all
your brain like
familiar
boom.
with Pornhub. Okay.
I think you
Oh,
could.
oh,
I think you
oh,
could
of
tell
the
me how many
porn,
boxes
porn.
per row, depending on the.
I thought you meant of your desktop. He's so familiar with your
Oh.
desktop normally. I was like, what?
Okay, to do worse, I have some social media a team, and we talk once a week, and I keep referring to. Ever since TikTok went down, we started posting on. I don't even remember Red Note, and I keep casually when I'm not thinking, I go RedTube, and that's a porn site, and I
know.
but it's also. But I don't even use RedTube.
No, me neither.
I just am thinking YouTube Red Note, but no one believes that.
He's like
from
telling
the guy with
telling
the
your whole
porn.
team. Put it on RedTube. Put it on RedTube. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying to them?
Yeah, not like that. I go, please put it
Please
on
put it on
RedTube.
RedTube.
And they go, Red Note, and I go, yes, Red Note and RedTube and X videos.
I would love to be looking for porn on RedTube and then find a clip of yours.
I mean, if the view counts, if
Yeah.
you told me,
We can get money from
sometimes
it.
I think it's a good idea. Because then if you accidentally open your video on porn, you could be like, no, I was watching Gianmarco Soresi, Best of Crowdwork 2025. All right, my This Has Got to Stop. I wrote it down. Oh fuck. Okay, my This Has Got to Stop. Which one did I want to do? Okay. Sydney Sweeney, at some point, she talked about struggling as an actor and not actually making a lot of money doing TV. And this was before she was a producer on these movies and doing very well. And it left this impression where people have become sensitive to actors don't make as much money as necessarily they think. Some actors are making a lot of money. And I think there's been an inverse where now, at least online, sometimes they go, well, listen, actors aren't actually making that much money. And I go, there's still some actors making a shitload of money. And I think there's been this weird reverse effect that I think especially as economic disparity increases, we need to be more public and transparent and questioning about like money. And I do think it's important to know more about money. I think in the secrecy of it, people aren't necessarily held accountable in the ways that they should be or praised in the way that they shouldn't be. Like when someone gives $1 billion, but they still have $10 billion. I'm not impressed until someone gives enough that they're poorer than me. When they hit that level, then I go, wow, you're better than me. You give $1 billion, you still have 10 billion. What am I going to applaud? You still have 10 billion. And so there's been this new thing where I see people be like, actually, these, Tom Hanks probably doesn't make, and I'm like, no, Tom Hanks does make a lot of money. It's okay. So that's my this has got to stop is like
Stop paying Tom Hanks.
it's you stop paying Tom Hanks.
Honestly,
Enough.
truly, like
yeah.
Tom Hanks has enough money.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, he's the problem.
Yeah.
He could be though.
Hey.
So you want people to know that some actors do make a lot of money as previously presumed.
Okay, I'll go further. I'll be honest about the thing that
Yeah.
inspired
Yeah.
this.
It
There-
is like
it-
as
it
though you're
was a-
not saying the
Yes.
thing.
Yeah. Yes.
There was a performer that shared a GoFundMe. The amount I believe was, let's say, $65,000, maybe $650, but even if it was $650, and people were giving that person flack. You're so rich. Why don't you just pay for this, as opposed to sharing it? And then people pushed back and they said, actually, actors don't make a lot of money. Now, this particular person, I am very sure, makes a shitload of money based on the little I know of touring and seats and door deals and TV shows residuals when you're a lead cast member on a show that's been on for 8 seasons and you came into that show as a mega celebrity. And but so the inverse happened where they said actors don't actually make a lot. And I'm like, there's no way that Randy Moore doesn't have a lot of money. And I again, I don't know what I think there's a debate to be had about when do you share a GoFundMe, when do you not, if you have a lot of money. Selena Gomez, I don't know if you're friends. I know you might be friends with these people, but Selena Gomez, she shared a video today of her crying, and it was about immigrants being deported. And one of the things she says is, I wish I could do something to help. And I just said, you are literally a billionaire. And the reason people get annoyed is because they go, well, put some money where your mouth is. I understand emotional displays, but at least accompany the video of the crying with something that you did. We got the Elon Musks out there fucking using that money aggressively and whatever to get whatever they want done. If you're literally a billionaire, I do think it's appropriate for the public to be like, we don't care about and if you want the public to be more sympathetic to you, then give away money and don't be a billionaire anymore. I think if you're a billionaire, you should be kind of reviled.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Good.
And that's why we'll never have a billionaire on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
That's so big of you guys.
That's
Wait until you
so-
see. You'll see.
Who
Who might want to knock on your door, and then you'll have a decision to make.
I'd love to have Oprah and play some of those clips of what you said already. Do you have this got to stop?
I have a few in mind. The one I'm thinking of, top of mind, is this has got to stop. Presumed hugging.
Okay.
Of which I am a culprit. As we were talking about switching into this segment, I realized I presumed my hug to you.
I felt like I presumed the hug to you.
I think there's I do think that consent rules, but it is awkward to be like, can I hug you? Like, I think
Yeah.
that was appropriate. We both wanted to hug, right?
Of course, but that's
I wanted to hug
is
you.
everyone okay?
I wanted to hug you, and I didn't. I get presumed hugs often, and people also maybe feel like they know me or something, so they're like, "Come here," But that was actually, I felt like I knew you, so I was like, "Hey," and I don't like it, but it has to be sussed out appropriately. It doesn't have to be explicitly consented to, but there has to be a vibe.
But that's
but I'm a culprit of it as well.
But the education of vibes feels like a more viable solution than I sometimes feel as a person who I enjoys being touched feels too broad. But when I'm in a yoga class, there's nothing I hate. One of my this gotta stop to say it now is when the yoga teacher says I may come around and make some adjustments. Raise your hand if you have an issue, and I don't at all. And then they don't touch you, and you go, wait, what was that? You teasing me at the beginning of yoga
Yeah,
class?
part of
I
what
was
I'm paying for
expecting-
is the touch of a stranger, 100%.
And I do sometimes feel like there's been a weird. I feel like yoga classes used to be more touchy-feely. I've been doing it long enough that I felt like there's been a shift.
Yeah.
And I go, is there any space of? I don't know. I like hugs.
I like to be
hugs.
touched as well. I really do, which is what makes it complicated when I am when I get a presumed hug that I didn't want, because I'm like, I didn't want that. but I like it too.
So what do we do?
I notice it sometimes when an adult is like forces a kid to hug like a family
Ooh,
member,
girl.
and you're like, I remember being a kid
That's right.
and being like, I don't want to hug that person.
100%.
I see that person 3 times a year.
100%.
Like, why am I gonna hug that person?
100%.
And so
Sometimes-
that's when I'm like, that's a weird thing. You're forcing a kid, like, and why? Like,
Totally,
the kid will hug you if they want to hug you. They will hug.
Absolutely.
Can I say? Let me counter only in that. I remember when my grandfather was
Okay.
When forcing
grandfather.
children to
I'm talking
be
about
touched
family
is
specifically. I had a grandfather who was very ill and looked scary towards the end of his life. And I remember I had a sibling who like was so, very overwhelmed just seeing this person.
Yeah.
Tricky situation. You got an old person dying. It would be nice to have a kid give him a hug or give him a hand squeeze. And I feel like I would want to have a relationship with my kid where I'd be like, hey, I know.
You've offered a very specific.
Brother, no, man. You do the hugging. You squeeze the hand. You
He's dying.
kiss him on the lips if you want. It's your grandpa.
If I'm
you'd like.
dying-
I'd say to
If
my
I'm
kid, I'd say,
dying-
hey, I'll buy you a toy. Give Grandpa a
No,
hug.
man.
Grandpa's dying. He's
No,
dying.
baby. You like to touch and
My
be
grandpa
touched.
my grandpa goes, I don't want to hug you. I want to before I
Why
cease
does he want
exist."
to kiss the grandchild so much? Listen,
I didn't say kiss. First of all, I said a hug.
and a hand squeeze. You do it. That's all. You do it.
What if my father says I'd offer to buy ice cream? I think in that moment.
What if your father said it to you now or when you're a kid?
I think if you said to me as a kid, hey, Grandpa looks scary. The breathing stuff is scary. It's making you think of death.
I know, but this
is
seems like
traumatic.
a task cut out for you. Like, first of all, it has to do with like sort of organized eating. You know what I mean? It has to do with like expectation and performance. It seems like you would thrive for a task like this.
Yeah.
Your future child, leave him alone. Give a hug to your old, scary looking grandpa.
yeah.
Kiss him on the lips.
Sure.
Give him cheek to cheek, little snuggle, nuzzle. But leave
Yeah.
your kid alone. Leave your kid alone.
Sure.
You know what I do with my kid for hugs that she like doesn't want to be giving is that I pick her up and then we just lean into the family member. So I'm with her in it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like so weird to be like, go be embraced by this adult you don't want to be embraced by. And this assumption, this like nuclear family suburban assumption that we all want to snuggle with our elderly family members we see rarely is so gross.
Sure.
Yeah. And if the older person has a genuine connection with the kid, that kid is gonna initiate a hug.
That's right.
You know
that
what I
kid
mean?
is gonna run into
I'm
their
hugging
arms.
I get hugged all the time, and I'm never asking for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, anytime you see
Ooh.
it when they're like, go give your uncle a
Yeah.
hug. I'm
That's a better this has got to stop. Asking for hugs.
yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
Sure.
But then
So-
see, then my problem.
But that goes back. Exactly. We're gonna fall loop.
But we vibed, right? Our hug was great.
Yeah.
But we didn't
before I
hug.
got here,
We didn't
Russell
hug.
But
texted
I'd
me.
like
He
to
said,
hug
"You better
after."
hug her. I'll take you out for
I'd
ice
like
cream.
to hug after if
You
you'd
better,
like
yeah,
to.
I'd
I'd
your
love
window.
to hug
Okay.
after. Yeah.
Let's go to our
You
final
better hug her,
segment.
and you better let me see it.
You better count your blessings.
All right, you better count your blessing. We had a good negative episode. Thank you, Ilana, for going to the weeds. Do you have a blessing?
Yeah, I have a blessing. Obviously, I've talked about before. I love David Bowie. He died 9 years ago. But my blessing specifically, not that he died, is that he did such a good job of like championing so many other artists that I'm always finding new music and things just from reading stuff like there's just so much stuff. It's been 9 years and I'm still finding like new. Anyways, I found this Italian singer I really liked because I read some kind of Bowie blog named Lucio Battisti, and he has a really great album from 1980. It's like disco-y and fun. And anyways, so it's just been really nice. I'm still finding little gems from Bowie.
Is he still alive?
I don't know. No, he's dead. Sorry.
Oh God. Oh,
But he was really big in Italy. I looked him up.
yeah.
But I never heard of him here.
That's
But
very cool. My blessing. I went to the dentist today. I'm I got blessed with teeth that don't get cavities, man.
That's
Oh,
great.
I don't deserve
fuck
it.
yes.
Wow.
I've had little
Fuck
little tiny
yes,
cavities here and there,
dude.
but like I don't deserve it. I floss now. It's not like I don't brush my teeth, but like I'm so lucky, and I've heard the stories. And my father had a lot of cavities, and I
Wow.
just fucking lucked
Yeah.
out with that shit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
And
great.
no cavities. Those times when they're checking your teeth, something they're like doing the water spray or whatever. And you're like,
yeah.
oh, that part really hurt. Is that a
Yeah.
cavity?
Yeah.
So you haven't had like, and they're like working on you for a long time?
No.
Ugh.
No.
I did do it
this
once.
was torture.
I did
God
do it
bless
one
you.
time. It was awful.
Oh, so at least for now, my blessing are my teeth.
That's
Thank
dope.
God. Do you have a blessing?
My blessing is I can't get past this kid who I'm just fucking obsessed with. I am so blessed with this child o' mine. I am so grateful for her and my husband and our little family unit. And what I'm specifically grateful for the blessing of today is having the opportunity to be on the floor all the time.
Oh,
Oh, that's nice.
I hear that.
It's so literally grounding. It's so different than adults who are trying to like just always like be up above the fucking clouds. I love getting on the floor like a dog. I'm really dog-like, and this like really lets me be dog-like, playing on the floor, talking on the floor, sitting, squatting, lying on the floor. We were just lying on the floor in a blanket the other day.
I get that. I did that in high school. That's why I didn't have a lot of friends. I sat on the floor. I've always been a
Yes.
floor kid.
Like in school?
Yeah. I just sit
I
on
feel
the
you.
floor.
Me too.
Wow.
I
Me
used to
too.
do stretches in musical theater at school,
Yep.
and but it was partly just I wanted to be on the floor.
I'm on the
Yeah.
street. I'm on the sidewalk squatting.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
just like, huh? But I'm like, I need a second. And I can't just like be by like taking everybody's energy through their eyes in all day. Just want to like get low.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
I do this podcast on the floor. Fuck it.
Good, yeah.
Oh,
get rid
fuck
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be. I don't know if anyone's ever
Fuck
done that.
yes, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my
That'll
god.
get some,
podcast.
that'll get some eyes.
Can
Yeah.
I say something? We like obviously would have been friends in high school and middle school, right?
Yeah.
So isn't it lit that like here we are found? So like we time traveled, and like while we like struggled, then we're okay now. It gets better.
It gets better.
Sure.
They should
You
think of
you
that.
always have those moments with people where you go like, oh God, if we knew each other in high school, would I have had more friends?
Yeah.
It's just crazy. It's just a luck of the draw, especially when you go to a small school.
Oh, that's crazy.
Or like my college, essentially it was a conservatory with 11 people, and you're like,
Oh,
it could have been a different
11
10.
people?
It could have been a different 10, and
Yeah.
I'd have the Broad City.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh
That's
my
how it
God.
works. That's how it works. Yeah.
That's how it works.
Oh my god.
I could have had the Broad City.
I could have
It could have been you and Abby Jacobs.
You and Abby just getting your shenanigans, sucking dick and doing drugs, you know?
The only, I mean, I didn't make mod. That's all I had to do. I did fucking.
Oh my god, at UCB, neither do we.
I know.
Yeah.
I just got that part without the
Without the
massively
Broad City.
successful
Yeah.
Just didn't get
Cult
mod.
hit,
I
but
just
thank
didn't
you.
get mod.
Yeah. Did you do improv?
Just a little. I'm not a good improviser.
Neither am I.
They
I got-
wrote I was too mean, and that's
Who
that's
wrote
why-
So
that?
you're like, I'll go do stand up. Bye.
One of the reviews. I feel like
One of the reviews?
One of they gave you report cards at one point.
Oh.
And that's what they said. He's
report
too mean.
cards.
Yeah.
Why are you not good at improv?
I don't know, because I can't stay with the fake context we're pretending to be in.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, wait, what? I'm like honestly too slow.
Me
I'm like,
too.
wait, which
Me
one are we
too.
in? The last one or this one?
Yeah.
And then it's like, yeah, fuck
Yeah.
it. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It's
tried
fine.
improv. It's too complicated for me.
It's complicated.
I was like, and yes.
Yeah.
yeah.
Alana, where can people find you?
They can find me at ilanaglazer.com.
And do you want to plug your special?
Yeah.
Yeah,
God,
you should
congrats.
watch. Should I look directly into camera? You can catch Human Magic on Hulu, streaming right now, as well as pretty much the rest of my body of work. Babes, my movie, Broad
Babes.
City, and Ilana on Instagram.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to plug?
When's this coming out?
I don't want to say 100%. It's in probably February 4th.
February 4th.
Oh, right
okay,
here.
great.
Oh my
Well,
God.
we have some tickets left for our Downside West Coast tour. I think probably
Vancouver at the end of February.
Vancouver and then San Diego. There's
San
some
Diego,
tickets.
but it's getting close.
It's getting close. So, yeah, and then at Russell J. Daniels on Instagram.
Oof.
Yeah. I'm everywhere. Gianmarco Soresi. I'm taping my special at Elysian. It's all sold out, but we do have a wait list. if you join the wait list and you show up on the night of, if you don't get seated, you get a free ticket to any show in the future. So I know it's a pain in the ass. It's tough to do a wait list in LA where you got to drive places, but please.
That
And
is
I'll make it up to you.
cutesy.
If you don't get seated,
Oh,
the
let's
fact that
really
you showed
get
up
this
for me,
going,
I will
LA.
make it
Let's
up
put
to
him
you.
out of business.
He likes touch, so he really will fucking make it up to you. A big old hug.
I
Yeah.
gotta tell you,
Big little
I do
cheek
give hugs.
nuzzle.
Yeah, people give hugs, yeah.
There was a guy, he cried in my arms the other night.
Oh,
And,
can I just say why I went oof after Russell Day Daniels?
Yeah, Russell J.D.
Jay? Oh, because I was thinking about Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, I was like, yeah, I guess it's a pretty good name when you did it. I was like, yeah, that is a good name.
I went
But
oof. I was like, that was
I
pretty
couldn't tell if it was like you liked my name that much or you were like, oof, that's a shitty name. Poor thing. Poor thing did not get blessed with a good
I
stage
was thinking
name.
about the beautiful Daniel Day-Lewis, and I didn't realize that would be perceived. It was meant to be inside
I
of my
didn't know.
body.
I
and
chose
It
it.
was loud.
I chose it.
I said, can we turn the mic down? Jesus Christ.
Oof.
It was inaudible, and I apologize, but you got a good name, Russell J. Daniels.
Yeah,
It's a
thank
strong
you.
name, the name of a leader.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for leading me in this podcast. You too,
This
Gianmarco.
is the downside.
You're listening to The Downside
The downside.
with Gianmarco Soresi.